know full well what it's like to be in the process of dealing with hair loss and desperate trying to find some answers as to what is going on. I also know what it's like dealing with the itching, the burning, the constant seeing, hairs all over the place, right? For me, dairy was one of the things that had to go. In today's video, I'm going to share why, what I've learned in this process, and I'm going to share a couple of my favorite non-dairy swaps. So grab your beverage of choice and let's go. Hi, it's Lynn and welcome back to my channel. If you've been around here for a while, you know that I started this channel to share the information that I'm learning on my hair journey. I went through major hair loss, an official diagnosis, and started the path to regrowth. But along the way, there have been a lot of things that I've learned. And let me say, actually, a couple of things that were really instrumental or important, or even principles that I would say that I'm learning, and things that are being reinforced, is the process of letting go and accepting. And you've heard me say this before, or you're probably hear me say it a lot more. It's about hair, but it's not just about hair, right? And sometimes we have to let go of the things that are not helpful, healing, nurturing, or supporting, and in turn accept the things that are, right? Or at least the things that are not causing harm. So I say that because maybe you don't have dairy issues, right? Maybe your issue of needing to let go might be associated with worry or anxiety, right? That was me too. Because even when thinking about letting go of things that aren't serving us and helping us, we already know that dealing with hair loss, that for many of us, especially CCCA, there is the component of inflammation that's connected to it. And so we'll talk about that a little bit more in terms of the dairy and that connection. But I think I said this in another video, and we learned, and I'll put a couple of links in here. Worry and anxiety actually also causes inflammation too. It can trigger inflammation. And so maybe yours isn't dairy and you're already vegan, or you're not dealing with that, and kudos to you for that. I also think it's an encouraging thing, as I think about it, is I'm constantly thinking about what are the things even now that I might be worrying about. Sometimes we just need to let some things go, whether it's dairy or anything else that may not be helping or healing to us. So anyway, let's talk about the lactose intolerance. So I've known for years that I was lactose intolerant. I think it started really in my 30s, where I started to have issues. And so I started, like many others, like I was taking Lactate, like a lot of people take it. There's a whole company around it, right? So I was taking Lactate. I would still have the things with dairy and take Lactate. But when I started to have the major, actually take that back, when I started to have, my hair was looking like this. This was even before diagnosis. And at that point, even before I went to the doctor, I started doing my own research, and I was like, what is going on? What is actually, possibly going on? And I just started digging and trying to figure out, and I kept going back to inflammation. I kept being kind of routed to everything I was researching was tying to inflammation. I'm like, well, that makes sense. And I started with the things that I already knew. Like, I knew I was lactose intolerant, but I was still taking or eating, dairy products and taking Lactate, thinking that I was helping. And common sense will tell you that doesn't make any sense. But anyway, that's where I was. So thinking that I'm taking something that was okay, it'll alleviate, it'll eliminate. But what I was doing, knowing that I had been lactose intolerant for all those years, and it was messing up my stomach, and I knew that. Even with the Lactate, after a while, I was still having gut issues. Well, lactose intolerance, if we define it, is essentially, lactose is a sugar in milk. Being lactose intolerant is when our bodies can't process that particular sugar. So the probiotic that Lactate is, it's supposedly designed to help you digest the sugar properly. Well, the reality was I didn't need it in the first place. So here I am eating milk, taking Lactate, eating ice cream, taking Lactate, eating the macaroni and cheese, at the holidays and taking lactate. But little did I know, over the course of time, what I'm actually doing in my gut is pouring gasoline on a burning a fire of inflammation. And so when all the things started coming together, like, wait a minute, because gut issues again are tied can be tied to inflammation. And so I was like, okay, so it's pretty obvious for me. That's an easy thing to check off the list. Just get rid of dairy. So I made it a point that I wanted to eliminate dairy. So I was, I'm like, okay, I'm dairy free. I'm going to go dairy free. I'll find some supplements, not supplements. I'll find, some other milk products. I liked soy milk anyway, or, almond milk. So I did it for a couple of days, and I thought, okay, this is fine. And then I thought to myself, doing the most, maybe you're overthinking it. Maybe it's not dairy. Maybe you're just being dramatic. And so I was like, maybe I should go ahead and let me try it out again. Now, mind you, it had been a couple of days, so I had eliminated dairy for not even it couldn't even been a week, I don't think. And then I was like, you know what? Let me try it again. So I that day I made like an Alfredo, and then I put cream in my coffee, just doing the most. And everything was kind of fine. I think I took the lactate too, but everything was kind of fine. But that night, my scalp was on fire. Like, I could feel it throbbing while I was sleeping. I was asleep, but I could almost feel the points of the throbbing. That's how um, obvious it was. Now, what I don't know, if this was a psychosomatic reaction, like, was this a real reaction? It doesn't matter, because at that point I was determined, like, okay, that's enough. I think that was probably the final wake up call when I was like, enough is enough. But I'm curious, did you give up dairy, or were you already, sort of vegan or non dairy? And maybe what are some of your favorite non dairy swaps if you are? Or even if you didn't have to give up dairy, was there something else that you decided to give up because or you believe that it could be more harmful than helpful? Let us know, because again, a part of this community is, if you go through some of the videos, you'll see we are all sharing what we're learning in our journeys. And so it's so helpful sometimes to see what other people are going through. So let us know, did you give up dairy? Are you still, did you put it back in? So would love to hear about that. So one of the things that I did after, maybe, I can't remember, this must have been several months after giving up dairy, was I decided to take a food sensitivity test. And I did it through a company called Everlywell. I wanted to find out, are there other things that I'm taking or doing or eating that maybe I need to not do? Everlywell is an at-home lab test that you can do that measures your body's immune response to various foods. The one that I did was like the expanded one, or the comprehensive one. And so it looked at like 200 different fruits, vegetables, meat, protein, spices, and it would tell you what your body, if you're having an immune response. And that's really important, I think, to try to gather as well, because sometimes there's the intolerance, which is one piece of it, but there are also immune responses. I'm not a scientist or a physician, so I can't go into too many details about it, but I also know that there are some who we may have immune responses as well, and those can also trigger inflammation. So that said, I did the Everlywell test. If you're interested, I can actually, I'm happy to go to do another video that at least talks about my experience with the Everlywell test, if you're interested in that. So leave a comment below, and I can work on that. I'm only going to do it if you're interested in it. So there's that. But I'm also going to leave in, I think I have a referral code. So if you wanted to try it out yourself, you can. But anyway, the Everlywell test, the results from the Everlywell test also showed that I had a mild sensitivity response to milk. The irony of it is I think I took this several months after I had already eliminated milk, and so for it to still show up on that test showing that I had a sensitivity to it, to me, I don't know the full interpretation of it, but it's probably something that I needed to either eliminate or keep not using. that's not the right grammar, but you know what I mean. So anyway, the milk definitely came up on the higher end of mild sensitivity, and they go into details. They actually even have a video recording or a video where they talk through how to read the results. It's a pretty comprehensive process. Again, I'll link the referral code below if you're interested. And also a tip here, I use my flexible spending dollars, or you can use your health savings account to cover the cost for that. So just FYI, if you're interested in doing something like that, your physician, I think, can also probably do something like that. But that's just an example of getting more in tune with our bodies and understanding maybe what might be going on. So I quit dairy, and then I also kind of just went on a journey to try to find things that were delicious and that I enjoyed. I'm going to start with the things that I don't enjoy, and I'll be honest with you. I am not a fan of a lot of these vegan plant-based cheeses. Just personally, there are a lot out there, but some of the more popular brands I'm just not a fan of. Right? They are, for some reason, they have an aftertaste, and honestly, in some cases, I'm like, I'd rather just not have it than to try to, make it seem like I'm having cheese. Like I'm good, right? So there's a lot that I don't even deal with them anymore. I don't even use them. But there are some that I really do like. So I wanted to share those. Now, again, the beauty of this channel too, I think, is that there are so many people that are outside of the US that view the channel. And so most of these I think are only available in the US. So I just want to share that out for those of you who might be watching from other countries. But most of these are available in the US somewhere. And I will, at most of your major grocery food chains. I know Trader Joe's is not in everybody's location, so I get that, but Silk has a good soy brand too. So anyway, let's get started. So the first alternative that I like is the Trader Joe's organic soy beverage drink. So I like this one, and it's unsweetened, and it has 1 cup has 9 grams of protein, and it has non-GMO soy, organic, and it has only 5 carbs. And so I love this in my coffee, right? What I love is that it froths up. Like a lot of almond milk does not froth up. Like the froth is kind of low now because I made this a while ago, but almond milk doesn't froth up like this. And I love it. It doesn't have an aftertaste, like not a powdery aftertaste. So if you have a Trader Joe's near you, this is a really good alternative. Also, drop down below if you have any of your favorite alternatives that you like as well. So the next thing that I love, this Silk heavy whipping cream. So this is the one when I make sometimes my toppings for the smoothies, I'll use this. This also has no added sugar. It's made with coconut oil and sunflower oil and faba bean protein. So if you're trying to stay away from seed oils, this might not be ideal. It is quote unquote keto friendly. I'm not keto, but it's also gluten free. So this is my favorite one. I make whipped cream with this. I've made, what else have I made with this? Well, definitely, when I make my latte in the morning, I'll do a dash of this, just a dash of this, along with the soy milk. And at this stage, I don't miss having traditional milk or cream in coffee like that. And I don't put any sugar in this as well. So that has been kind of this is one of my staples. When I make desserts, sometimes I will use this as a liquid. How else do I use this? I made a cheesecake mousse type thing one time with this. I love this stuff here. So I love Silk. The other thing that I like, you heard me talk about the cheeses a little bit, and I'm not a fan of a lot of these cheeses. I won't name the names that I don't like. But ones that I do like is this Kite Hill is a really good brand. Like they have a plant-based ricotta. They have a good yogurt. And what I appreciate about them, like they're dairy-free, it's gluten-free, non-GMO. made from live cultures, so it has some probiotics in there. It's soy free. I'm okay with soy, but it's soy free if you're one of those who doesn't like soy. And this has no artificial flavors or preservatives. And this one is their garlic herb soft spreadable cream cheese. And so I'll put this on toast. I'll put it on, or like a toast, a piece of sourdough. Love this. I don't know how much. There's still some in there. So, and it's spreadable just like cream cheese. And it doesn't have an aftertaste to me. So a lot of the cheeses, again, like I said, have that nasty aftertaste. So this one is my favorite cheddar. It is plant milk. It is made with cashews. It is lactose free. There's no soy. It's non-GMO. And again, it's made with cashews. So if you have a nut allergy, you're going to want to avoid this. And it has nutritional yeast in there, which is good for you. Some sea salt. This right here, again, I can use it if I'm making a sandwich. I made a grilled cheese sourdough bread, which is good for your gut in some cases with this one. I love this one. So this is one. So I have others that I probably could share, but these are some of my top favorites right now. And so again, leave a comment. Let us know what you what you gave up and what you added in to supplement. But I also wanted to share just a final closing thought, right? So, this journey continues to be a learning experience. Quitting dairy wasn't just about my hair. It's also about being a better steward, taking control of what I could. I can't have, there's so many things out of our control. If we're being honest, this was one of the things that I could control. And so sometimes it might take a major wake up call to say, hey, pay attention here. And it might be something small to eliminate or something small to add. I would just encourage you on this journey just to keep going, just literally taking it one day at a time. Don't heap a whole bunch of guilt and shame on you. Also, which is easier said than done, but don't allow people to be dismissive, and don't you dismiss if you're dealing with just the frustration and the challenge of being on this hair journey. Like I said before, I've said it in other videos, God cares for you, about you, and He is with you. So maybe this is a gentle reminder to you to eliminate some of the things that aren't helping you or healing you. Add on those things that He has for you, and live well, live blessed, nourish your crown, and I'll see you in the next video.